What's up, everybody? I'm Scott,
I'm Jason.
and you are listening to Liquid Carnage. What's going on, buddy?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day down here. It's 105. I just had a bird fly into my window, dude.
A bird flew into your window.
Yeah. I heard this thump, and I saw the bird hit the window, bounce on the ground, then fly up, and then he landed on a little tree outside, shaking his head like, "What the hell just happened?"
Oh man, that's crazy. That happened to me one time before, and it was when we were driving to Flagstaff when I was 18 years old. My mom and I were. We were going to go see our executive producer Tom. He wasn't the executive producer at the time. He was just college brother Tom. We were going to see him in Flagstaff. We were just driving, talking on the road. My mom and I were, and a bird flew right into the windshield of her Tacoma and actually cracked the windshield.
Ooh, wow, that hit it hard. Yeah,
that was nuts. I didn't know what to do. It killed it clearly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this bird got up and flew, but definitely a hard hit. A little mark, like a little booger or something on the window.
Well, I guess kudos to Noreen for cleaning those windows so well that it looked like there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Animals are so weird though, because like you what goes on in their little heads, like our dogs or our cats or whatever. Because sometimes I look at my dogs and I think, because obviously more than just food.
Yeah, no, I look at my three the same way. Like I often wonder if they're conspiring against me, or if they have something more to say, or if they just basically talk shit about me when I'm not there, which I have reason to believe they do. But now, what? That's part of pet ownership.
And do you think that I don't know if this is a topic that you want to get into, but I have a couple of things that I thought about over the last couple of weeks when it comes to animals and pets in general. But I'm open to talking about anything with you, my friend. Well, on Liquid Carnage, it's a wide open book.
Let's discuss pets, because often in our episodes prior, you have heard both your dogs and my dogs spark up in the middle of our conversation. So maybe this is a good episode to dedicate to them tonight.
I think so, because you well know, I well know, executive producer Tom well knows that we have a very pet-loving audience that listens to Liquid.
Absolutely. Basis. So before we get started on that conversation, just hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage, and tell us, of the 5 dogs between the two of us, who's your favorite? Walter, Hank, Frankie, Ellie, or is it
Holly?
Holly.
Yeah.
Holly. Is it? Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Tom, our executive producer, doesn't actually have any pets. So this week I want to dedicate all your shout-outs to him at liquid_EP on Twitter and Instagram to make sure he has a reason to get a pet. Because I think Tom, of all people, needs a dog. I mean, there's something about the love of a dog.
So here's my thought, because my mom is 75 years old. She lives in Las Vegas by herself. She has a very full life, so it's not like she's been miserable. But I've always thought she could always use a little pet, like a dog or something. And she's flat out says, "I don't take care of one. Do not want to take care of one." Yeah. So I totally understand the people that decide that, hey, I just don't want to take care of an animal, that I have to take care of in the world. And frankly, if it wasn't for having Holly given to us by a family member who couldn't take care of it, I probably wouldn't have had a pet.
But now you have Holly and Ellie, and your life has changed for the better, whether you realize it or not. There is something about having someone that's always happy to see you come home. Because that's not always Noreen in your world.
No, that's not Noreen in the world. Because usually when I come home, I've done something wrong.
Exactly.
So now, one of the first questions I wanted to ask you though, are you that your dogs or cats or whatever, if they show human personality, that you came from a human that is no longer with us?
It's funny you mention that because last week, a few weeks ago, actually, my parents adopted a dog from someone that just passed away. And we've been experiencing that, trying to condition the dog to his new surroundings and trying to work with him on how his life used to be to adjust him to the life that he has now. And it's been an interesting, I don't want to say case study, but an interesting experience to watch him kind of grow into his new world,
Okay, and is he a puppy or is he a?
No, he's 5 years old.
Okay, so he's a dog, but he's old.
Yeah, he's older. He's the same age as my parents' beagles, so they've been looking for a dog for a while. And my parents have always said if we're meant to have one, the right kind of dog will pop up when it needs to, when the time is right. So you have to almost throw it out in the universe and say, when you're ready, uh, I'll take a dog. When I'm ready for that dog, you'll show me that it's time. Well, a few weeks ago, I was sitting at Chili's bullshitting with a friend, and some other friends came in and just happened to say, "Hey, do you know anyone that needs a dog? My aunt just passed away, and she has a 5-year-old Bichon that needs a home." So I said, as a matter of fact, I do. Send me a picture. So I sent it to my mom, and my mom said, "Yeah, let's meet the dog." So we went over and met the dog, and long story short, anytime my mom goes to meet a dog to adopt, the dog's getting adopted. It's a moot point.
Oh, okay, so she's one of those types, love at first sight.
Yeah, and for the record, that's how I have all three of mine though too. It runs in the family. I think if you take the time to go see a dog, you're already mentally committed to that dog.
And the two Toms, if a dog came my way, cool, but if not,
yeah. Well, when my dad, he looked at their beagle Ollie for 2 weeks before he decided to make the phone call, and it's almost unheard of for a dog to be sitting there up for grabs for free for 2 weeks, especially a purebred beagle.
yeah, I was gonna say. Now, beagles are the ones that they howl like, right?
Oh, any hound dog like that, but yeah, those especially.
Okay.
So
yeah, I couldn't handle that. See, that's one thing I could.
Yeah, they're very temperamental. That's the thing about beagles. I like the dog. The dog likes me sometimes. I think he definitely likes me more now that there's another dog, so he's got some competition for affection. So if he knows he's not getting it from my mom or my dad, he's going to come to me. So I'm a nice tertiary option whenever I'm stopping by over there for the dog. But it's been interesting to watch that new dog adjust. He and the beagle don't care about each other, but he's fine with Walter. He could care less about Frankie, but he is terrified of Hank. Yeah, Hank just wants to get up there and just give him a kiss and just meet him, and he will not have anything to do with him. He literally runs away, and he climbs on top of my mom or my dad, who's ever right there.
I love dogs, and I sometimes believe that we are reincarnated into pets because they do. This goes back to the whole thing of what does a pet really think. But they do things that I just say, you think like a human. You're acting like a human. How is this possible? And what does your little mind say to do?
Yeah. I read an interesting theory on that a while back, too, that someone said it's just one of those, it's probably they smoke too much weed moments. But it was, what if a dog immediately reincarnates into another type of dog after it passes? So maybe that's why if you've met my Frankie, he acts like he's a big old Rottweiler, but he's the size, of a Rottweiler shit. No offense, pal. It's maybe he had such a big personality. This world needed to teach him to be a little bit more humble, so they made him a tiny runt of the litter.
The other thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, and with only one of you in the house, it may not be possible, but I've noticed that Holly is more indicative of Noreen's personality, and Ellie is more indicative of my personality.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that just happened to be because of the breeds, like Holly's a Shih Tzu and Ellie's a Terrier, but I find, do you find that your dogs, like one of them has a different personality than the other, or one of them matches you more than the other?
Oh, yeah. I would say all three of mine have three very distinct personalities, but they're all very much similar personality traits of mine, if that makes sense. Walter's very calm and laid back and very just, the world comes to him and nothing really bothers him. And Frankie's very high strung and aggressively loud. And Henry's just straight to the point. So it's kind of a hybrid. So I don't know if they kind of take on those personality traits after being around you, or that's just the way they're born into it. But I think maybe subconsciously you look into those traits when you're looking at a dog,
I think it's just limited to dogs. Our listeners is a cat woman, and she said that her cats have personalities, very human-like, human traits that come out.
Yeah, Tom's very much a cat person too. He'll admit it to you, but The thing I don't mind cats. I've had 2 growing up. I don't think I need any more in my lifetime. I don't get the cats that hide all the time. I don't get the ones that they're not personable. They don't come out and love on you or spend time with you. They just hide behind the bed or hide in the closet. And they don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's not a pet. That's a creeper.
Well, and this is this is not to be taken as offensive to cat lovers out. Respect that you love your cats.
Oh,
However,
yeah, no.
I am in the same camp as Scott that if I didn't have a cat, I'd be okay.
Yeah. It's for me, I like to think I'll always have a dog. And I think my dog ownership has matured as an adult over the year. I had a German Shepherd and a Lab for years. I had a Shepherd for 13 years and a Lab for about 11 after I got into college. And they were great dogs, but I was so young and active. I didn't mind them being outside all the time. And I didn't spend as much time with them as I should have. And it's one of those after they passed, I look back to regret saying, man, I wish I could have done some things differently. Not to say I didn't love them because I loved them dearly, but I feel like I could have just done things better. And I think as a result, the ones that I have now are reaping the benefits of, I don't know if it's guilt or just the maturity as a pet owner,
And I've always had indoor dogs. I've never had a dog that lived outside. I think it's just hard for me, especially in the heat. I feel bad for a dog that just stays outside all day long.
I get it.
Especially if you don't have a yard that's big enough. Like, that's one thing I do like about our new house. Backyard is bigger, so the dogs have a place to run and go play. And when they go outside, they have free run to go in and out around. And then when they're out with us, they are the little park, the backyard. I'm not one of those from outside time.
No.
Yeah, but.
Well, not down there. And I can imagine growing up, the extreme heat of Alaska was really terrible to keep dogs in.
Well, the difference is that the dogs were used in our igloos. I mean, we had to use them for heat,
Yeah, and whale hunting, right?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, obviously when you have 1,000 miles to get to the closest, food place, the dogs have to be rested because when you're on the sled, you just don't have you don't have the protective of a house to keep them safe. You've got igloo. Now, we had a three-story igloo, so it worked for us. And our dog sled garage was big enough that they could sit if they wanted a little extra space.
That's true. And a lot of people don't know that Jason's real name is Nanook.
My dog's name was Euktuk.
No, I mean your real name.
But a lot of people, our dog's name was Euktuk. And which obviously is a loose spot, and it's Nanook, lifestyle,
Yeah, it all feeds off each other.
Yeah.
So now that you have your 2, and you've recognized that they've adopted the personality of both you and Noreen, down the road in 10, 15 years, would you get another dog after these cross the Rainbow Bridge? God forbid, down the road.
At this point, I'm not sure if after 15 years go down the road of being a dog again. I think I'd rather be in life like my mom, but a little bit more sedentary. I'm home a lot. Because even us now, we work all the time, so they're by themselves a lot of the time, and I had because I think they're staying with my parents because people around.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm pretty old, so for me, probably not. Like, once they go, I don't think that I would jump right back into dog kind of pet owner that have to have a dog or a cat or a pet or something. I'm not that kind of owner. How about you? You've already said it that you're always going to have dogs.
I probably will always have dogs. I'll admit, I think Frankie's going to live forever. He'll probably outlive me. For those that don't know, you've seen Frank on my Instagram and Facebook page. He's 4 pounds of power. He's completely high-strung. It looks like he stuck his paw in a light socket. So he just got that high-strung mentality that just screams he's going to live to be the world's oldest dog at like 30.
That it's possible. He's a little mutt.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little firecracker like that,
Right.
But I have realized as I've gotten older, I do like smaller dogs better.
Now, I think we are both in a we enough. We hear people who purposefully hurt their dogs.
Oh yeah,
or pets in general, like pets in general.
Yeah, I think if you're going to beat an animal, you should get to be beaten yourself. That's my own personal philosophy.
Yeah, I'm starting to get, as I get older, I'm starting to get more cynical about crimes. Children, pets, the elderly, like they should have double sentence, like the sentence.
Yeah.
If you get normally 10 years for, I don't know, beating an adult, you get 20 years for beating an child or a dog or something. And there's something about that helplessness of, they're here for our benefit. They get a lot of pleasure. See someone do something, or a dog, cat, bird, whatever. It's just.
Yeah, I read an article online today about someone who abandoned a dog in a wheelchair. There's some dogs are paralyzed on the back legs, and they've got wheelchairs.
Yes.
That they just dumped the dog off on the side of the street with a broken wheelchair and a bag of diapers. Dog couldn't move. Completely horrific. I didn't see what city it was in, but it was one of those articles like, man, sometimes human beings just suck. There's no need for that. If you're going to take on a handicap pet like that, or the pet becomes handicapped like that, that's a bigger response. Man, fuck that person, whoever did that to that dog and just left it there.
I mean, my thing is this. Let's assume for a second that I'm not going to be devil's advocate per se, but let's assume for the second that the dog is in pain, and the likelihood of it living even a decent life is no. Take it to the vet and have it euthanized. Don't just allow humans to die.
Yeah, if the dog's in pain, or I agree completely. It's, back in January, Walt was trying to jump onto the couch, and he hurt himself. He pinched a nerve in the back of his legs, and the minute he jumped, he just started screaming and dragging his leg like it was dead, man. And the first thing I thought was, oh crap, he did something to his back, and he's going to be in a wheelchair. And I took that in stride, man. I took him to the vet. I had him x-rayed. I had it all looked at. And before they were even out of the x-ray, I was looking up wheelchairs for dogs, because putting him down was not an option for that. I'd have to make my house wheelchair accessible. The dog's 4 years old at this point. I mean, there's still another, potentially 10 years to live. If it's quality with a wheelchair, I don't see the problem.
Hey, my Ricky's fiance, soon to be wife, spent $5,000 on a cancer treatment dog. Give it another 6 months of life.
Oh.
Now, I don't know about you, Ellie, you're gone, but that's me. 6 months doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. Now, God bless people. That kind of $5,000 is, to me, expensive.
We have a friend that just went through that and lost his dog. The cancer came on rather quickly, and he was in the process of getting it all biopsied, but the dog just took a turn, and it was going to be a couple thousand for him to get everything, biopsied and the treatment plan and whatnot. There were still no guarantees it was going to cure the dog. So that's a hard life issue to balance. You want to do everything you can, but if it's terminal, if it's a terminal diagnosis for the pet, God, that's a brutal decision to make, because it's a very selfish thing to want to keep the dog alive longer if it's going to be in pain, but you're willing to pay the money, versus just doing it a favor. Even cats, in fact, and doing it a favor and just letting it go peacefully before the pain gets any more for you.
Yeah, I don't know. There are to this podcast who say, I can't believe you would not take care of your dog and pay whatever price to get them, back up to feeling better. And, there's no price to pay for my pet. And I applaud them. I really do. I applaud you. I apologize that I'm not as good as you are to do that. That being said,
don't get me wrong. You know, I would, if there's a cure, and there's 100% chance that you $5,000 per se will make sure one of my boys can live for another 10 to 15 years because you're cured of this. Absolutely. But if I'm buying them 6 months for $5,000, what's that quality of life for the next 6 months going to be for that dog? You know.
Well, not to mention that's a month, man.
I get it. I'm right there with you.
That's $800 a month. Now I don't know about you, but I got a couple bills that I could pay $800 a month toward. I'd be paid off pretty quick.
Absolutely, I agree.
So
you know, and man, I hope, knock on wood, I don't ever have to be in that position. You know.
The other thing that crossed my mind, I was talking. My mind when it came to pet. Across some place that freaked out about. So she wanted me to get it and kill it, So I crushed it, ended its life. But it got me thinking, we make such a big deal when our pets die or we die. And I understand it's end of life, but things die all the time that we care to. Birds, all the time. I mean, they die all the time, and we don't make such a big deal out of it. But our pet, our loved one, huge deal. Is it because of the emotional connection to that animal that we care so much about?
I think so. I think any animal that's been, what's the difference between animals that live with you and animals you hunt? If you have an emotional connection to the animal, yeah, man, you don't want to see it in pain. You don't want to see it suffering. But yet it's okay to go out and shoot a deer or an elk.
Yeah, my mom gets so she hears about big hunter or big game elephants.
Yeah, that part bothers me.
She is so angry when she hears about that because, to her, she has an emotional attachment to the elephant. If it was a Republican, so.
I understand, like, I have major issues with big game hunting like that too, with elephants, with endangered species, tigers, lions. No, man, fuck that. But if it's a population control thing, like maybe deer, elk, wild boar, whatever, man, that's a different thing because you're going to eat the animal. I don't see a lot of people serving elephant steaks or lion steaks and using all parts of the body to make sure they survive. They just want that thing on the wall,
Well, or they just cut the tusk. I mean, It's like you could have stupid tusks to put on show that you have a bigger gun than, kill that elephant by yourself with nothing, pal. You want to impress me. You want to impress me. Why don't you take a knife and try to kill that elephant?
No, I agree completely. It's I don't personally hunt. I know a lot of people that do. My dad and my brother are big time, quote unquote, big time hunters. But still, I think they average maybe one kill every 5 to 6 years at this point.
Well, and my thing is this: Ricky went hunting in, but he took that meat. You know what I mean? So, animal served a valuable purpose, and I have no with death. I really don't. I mean,
I'm right there with you.
You kill an animal, and you're going to use every single bite of the meat, and you're going to basically clean everything off. You're going to take the carcass, everything. I have no problem with that. I really don't. It's the ones that basically they kill they kill a lion so they can take its nails, its paws. Now, come on, that's not right. Well, what are you proving?
I'm right there with you, and I think there's a definite difference between people that say, well, they have a love for the animal, so they want to appreciate it in their house more often. But that's not a love for animal. That's just being I'm not going to call them a defenseless animal, but cold-blooded and really just ignorant.
I'm like you. Look at my dogs. They fascinate me. They really do. I just look at the ears and think, you guys trust me. And when we accidentally on your toes, you forgive us, right?
Yeah.
They wag their tail when we get to play with them, and they do all these beautiful things. The animals are amazing. They really do add joy to our lives. I just think that
dogs. Dogs are amazing. Cats will hold it against you for the rest of your natural life.
Yeah, well, the thing I like about cats though is they don't bark.
No.
Holly is a perfect dog because she doesn't bark. I mean, she bark at other dogs, but she won't, like, in the house. She won't bark. She just barks at everything. High energy, pill sometimes. Cute that you don't like yell at her too much. That's me.
Well, it's good that you're going to quit yourself with Holly because you are the one that adopted Holly, if I remember correctly.
I am, and I remember looking at her, and she was one of those Mexico. She like. She weighed like half of what she weighed, 7 pounds, but she had the mange on her hair. Like there were parts that were completely like no hair growing at all. She was malnourished, like she was the mother of a litter because she had a litter, and she was all the puppies went, but she was the last one to get those eyes and saying,
"No, I get it.
I couldn't.
I get it. I was there the weekend you brought her home. We were down in Phoenix for the Cardinals and Packers playoff game. That's the weekend I slapped you all those years ago."
Yep. Hey, hold this.
Yeah, exactly. And that was quite literally possibly the moment that Liquid Carnage was born. Maybe a year ahead of time, but the thought process of that skin-to-skin contact right there, of my hand hitting your face to get you into playoff mode, is what triggered this relationship that we have now, which runs deeper than most people realize.
And if you were there, if you had been there during the time, not you, but the people who had been there, they would have realized that slap was the turning point.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree.
I
agree with wholeheartedly.
Just kind of get this conversation to go full circle. It's pets are very much a blessing, and you should treat them like family because they are a part of your family, and they're only here for a short time. Compared to your lifespan. So let the pets on the couch. Let your dogs or cats, sleep with you, or give them someplace comfortable to sleep. Treat them like you'd want to be treated if the roles were reversed. I think that's a fair statement to make.
Yeah, I mean, let them hump your leg if they start humping your leg.
Well, let's not get too crazy. Well, I guess if they have some Mississippi bloodhound in them,
that's right.
Catch the moon just right. You just gotta let them finish.
You gotta just let them finish. That's right.
Just don't make eye contact. It makes it weird.
That's exactly right. Oh yeah. I feel bad because we had, but Holly is think has ever had relations except from your dogs when they raped her that one time.
Hey, they're right. Mine are right here.
Hey,
they understand that. That's a very powerful 4-letter word, my friend.
Remember, we had the 4 dogs at the house. It was your 2 and Liza's and Ellie, or Holly. Look of Holly, shock after being done from your dogs constantly wanting to be on her.
That was not. I think because that never actually happened. That might have been just Walter and Opie, my ex's dog, but I never had.
Yeah, it was Opie. It was.
The kid just didn't know better at that point.
Yeah.
He was still young. He was still a youngin.
Yeah, and everyone see Holly pillows. Obviously, she. That's one of those. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Yet I find you strange.
Right. Well, on that note, why don't you tag us in a picture of your pets and tell us how much they mean to you? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage. Hit up Tom at liquid_EP, and please encourage him to adopt a greyhound from the Florida Greyhound Association because he has been kicking that around. I think a greyhound would be great for Tom because he's gone so much and they are so lazy. So hit him up at liquid_EP. Encourage him to get a dog. He could use it. With that, Jason, take us home.
Boy, you sound like Bob Bark there, dude.
And remember, spay and neuter your pets.
That's right. Hey,
motherfucker.
Scott, as always, to talk with you about how the world blows and how it leads us.
I think our worldviews are always entertaining for people because we have such very varied worldviews as it is.
That is true. Thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate you. That was Scott. I am Jason. And if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Carnage.